All right. Well, we will get going. So, for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Casey Holm. I am the current UW Eau Claire men's coach. Joining me, we have Jesse Campos and Joe DeMay. The three of us basically comprise our college recruiting category for St. Croix. So today we're just going to kind of take you through some college recruiting tips, specifically geared towards the boys side. We have our President's Day showcase via St. Croix in a few weeks. So just want to get some things on your radar so we can get going. So with that said, all of you basically with COVID need to make sure that you market and promote yourselves immediately. So in doing so, you should be emailing college coaches. It should be personalized. So you should start off with like, Dear Coach Holmes. So if you were emailing me at UW Eau Claire, you would make sure that you know who the head coach is. And then I would highly suggest you also CC the assistant coaches as well. Okay, sometimes the head coaches aren't in charge of recruiting. So they get the emails and then they either pass it on, or if they aren't the ones that do it, sometimes it gets lost. So again, suggestion, make sure you CC the assistant coaches. So you're going to want to introduce yourself, basically who you are, what position you play, what club, team you play for, what's your grad year. You can maybe throw in your high school, and then maybe a little bit about what kind of player you are. If you're a winger, you're going to have a few things that describe yourself, like pacey, skilled, attacking 1v1 type player. And then you should probably know what you would like to do in terms of a program. So express your interest. You should make sure that you look up at that school, what they have, and to make sure it's like a good fit. And then I would suggest inviting them out. So you'll want to provide them your schedule, and I'll show you that here in a second. Also, always put your club coach's contact on there, and I would suggest CCing your club coach as well. So that way, even though you put it in the email, they still have that piece already above and can just reply all. And then the suggestion is to make sure that you have your player profile in there, which would be a one-page resume with details. And probably the most important thing, I think, Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong, would be a highlight tape. That way, the coach has some indication that you're a real soccer player. We get tons of emails every day, and knowing that we can weed you out a little bit with that clip or that tape helps out a lot.
Yeah, I'll just try, especially if it's a coach that you don't know, they maybe have not seen you play and you're earlier kind of in that process, attach a little bit of video. And I would also recommend, if you're going to make one, keep it short and sweet. I think statistics show that coaches really watch like 45 seconds a minute at the beginning, and put all your best clips at the front end of it, right? So quickly, it's are they athletic? What do they do really well? You know, if you're a goal scorer, if you're a forward, got to score some goals. If you're a defender, some big tackles, just something that's going to be eye-catching. And then honestly, after that, you know, the assistant tells the head coach, hey, check this out. We really should go see this kid. So I would, if you can put one together, do it. But again, short and sweet, 5 or 6 great moments. That's enough to get them to your next game.
Agreed 100%. So again, sample email should look like this. Basically all the things that we just talked about, a little bit of a schedule in there. Going forward past this, I'll go back to that in a second. One thing that you definitely can do is on your guys' team snaps, there's an export button. So I find that super helpful. You click the export button, then it asks you to, you know, how you want to export it. I would export it in like an Excel sheet. That's what's below here. Then it just brings up the dates, times, locations, etc. And you can go through, you can highlight what you're doing, what you're not doing. And then that way you have it for a coach and you can just attach that. Okay, because most coaches are going to ask what your schedule is. This is a simple way, easy way to get it off instead of like screenshotting your team snap, etc. You can just export it. Okay, so again, with that sample email, make sure you have that exported schedule, and then you also should have that video attached as well. Basically all colleges have a sample questionnaire on their website. Okay, I would highly suggest that you start filling that out. If it's a school that you're interested in, has all that important information that coach is looking for. Basically like you're in your email, but we get dinged, we get your profile sent to us. It goes through and lists your name, email, position, college, what like major you're looking for, as well as any high school information, club coach, high school coach, etc., that we would like to be able to get in contact with. So once you submit your questionnaire, basically we have all that information. It's fantastic for us. Now we can stay informed with you. We can send you out like if we're gonna have any camps or like ID clinics. Maybe we can also just look up your high school schedule if we want to, or your club schedule on our own. But that way we at least are on your radar, just like you're on our radar. So big event that's coming up is our President's Day Showcase. Okay, so our President's Day Showcase will be that weekend of February 14th and 15th. On February 14th, we will have games, and then on February 15th, we'll have a college ID clinic. That being said, your club coach should have information ready for you on the showcase day. You should have a brochure. Okay, brochure should look similar like this, a little player profile with kind of your upcoming events and such. If you don't know if your team has one, I would highly suggest you touch base with your coach and then your team manager. Okay, this way, every time that you are playing and that college coach is sitting there, they can just flip back and forth on their page, the brochure. They know who's number what their GPA is, what they're looking to do, little contact info if they want to send you a text later or grab you, something like that. That way, you have that information provided to them. If they grab you and stop and chat with you a little bit, you can feel free to ask for, a business card. Basically, we all have one sitting in our pocket. They can hand you that. That way you have that contact and that list of who you're chatting with. And then I would suggest when you're done, make a list of the coaches that you chatted with and then retouch base with them later. Feel free to send them an email, thank them for thank them for coming to your game, and maybe a little quick word or two if you want to add anything. But the biggest piece is that you are getting touches and you're getting in front of them and knowing that you are grateful that they're there.
Yeah, I'll just jump in quick. Before those showcases, like 2 weeks out is a good, even further if you can, let them know that you'll be at the event. Even if you don't have your schedule yet, just say, we are playing in this event. I'm interested in your school. Here's some information about me. 2 weeks out is good so that we can at least start making a list of who we're going to watch. A week out, send another one. I would say a week out, Casey, I don't know how it is on the men's side, but like a week out, we're trying to build our schedules. Like I'm going to sit at the field at this time to watch this player. And then this time I need to watch this player. And then you kind of start looking at everybody else. So get on somebody's schedule and calendar. So I don't know, two weeks out is good. And then another one, a week out. Maybe the week out email has more details. Like here's my specific game time that I couldn't include in my first email. But every one of those touch points is going to help you, right? The more you're communicating, the better.
No, for sure.
I'll just add one more thing is if you think that they're just going to show up to your game and see you play, you are mistaken. Like they need to know, even if you think it's President's Day, there's only one field. If they think, oh, you know what, 4 o'clock, I don't have any kids that emailed me. I'm going to go have lunch then. There's nobody I need to watch, but I need to watch somebody at 5:30. So I'm going to go grab something to eat then. So you do have to email. Don't just assume they're going to find you.
No, those are fantastic points. We do for sure build what our schedule looks like, who we want to watch. And like Joe said, just because we're there doesn't mean that we're specifically going to watch you. We might have a different kid that we're paying attention to. We may just happen to see you, but you need to take the initiative. You need to get the touches, like Jesse said, and be in front of those coaches. 2 weeks out, fantastic. An updated email at least a week prior to with more information, and those more touches keep you in the back of our minds to be able to see you and watch you and make sure that we are there. And that being said, in terms of coaches that so far we have coming to the President's Day events, we have Concordia Moorhead, McAllister, Augsburg, Hamlin, Gustavus, St. John's, St. Scholastica, Wartburg, St. Mary's, UW Eau Claire, Northwestern, St. Olaf, UW Superior, and Bethel so far that are saying that they are coming to our President's Day events. Just a couple things in terms of D1. D1 is pushed back. They will not be able to be at anything until at least mid-April. Okay. So if you think that any D1 coaches coming to your events right now, they are not able to. Okay. So these are the coaches that we have so far. We're still building and working on continuing to get more coaches to our events. and anything.
If the only thing I would add is, yeah, they can't come to your events. If you are looking to play at that level, you can still call them, text them, email them. I mean, you can still be in touch with them, but they may wait till a future time to watch you play, unless it's something that's like live streamed, then they can watch that way. There are some specific kind of rules. If you're a junior, senior, they can reply to you, but anything younger, they can't. But that doesn't mean, you don't want to do what you can to get onto their radar. So like it's fine to let them know that you're playing, and if there's a live streaming option, that you'll let them know and send it to them. But again, there's nothing wrong with just saying, I'm still interested in your school, and I understand you can't watch me play, but I'll keep you updated. And I did the questionnaire, and as we get closer to April, then you will increase those contacts. Like, ask them if they plan to be at other events to recruit at, or let them know what you'll be at.
And that brings me to the next point in terms of the live streaming. We are working on getting all these matches live streamed. Hold on, Jess. So we'll have links and everything sorted out for you guys. Not sure how fast we can populate those links, so you'll have to stay tuned in terms of that. But the objective would be that these coaches would be the ones that would be in attendance in person. That doesn't mean that we can't get this out to more coaches, okay? So the D2, D1 coaches, hoping to have those live streams for them as well, so that they can watch you play. All right. So after you're done, you can still attach those to those other coaches that may not be there in person. Again, wrap up, make sure you send the thank you, ask kind of for some next steps, which would be a phone call, maybe a campus visit. A lot of you guys like to, text and email, but I would highly suggest getting on a phone call, because that definitely gets the coach's attention, and you will know for sure where you stand with a phone call. Okay, it's pretty easy to hide behind email, text messages, things like that. But if you can get that connection with them on a phone, you'll have a lot better sense of where you're at. And then again, like we've kind of hit on multiple times here, you got to be proactive. All right, you need to be the one sending the emails. You need to be the ones touching base. You need to be the ones trying to make contact with those coaches. Okay, and sometimes coaches don't get back in until like Monday. Maybe it's a long weekend, Tuesday, especially with like a President's Day weekend. So don't always be freaked out if you don't get a reply immediately. Okay, so, and again, you can always reply again and touch base and be like, hey, did you see my email, etc., and go from there. And like we said earlier, make sure that you CC your club coaches, because oftentimes like I'll CC back and leave you off and touch base with your club coach and ask them some questions and then get back to you. And a lot of those questions deal with like character. Do you show up to practice? What kind of like player are you like? Are you a leader, etc. So phone calls, typically college coaches, their office hours are like 9 to 4. So those, like I've said, you should really try to get on a phone conversation with the coach. Take this time to introduce yourself. I mean, highly suggest expressing interest, invite them to come watch you play. That email that you should have written should be a pretty good guide to follow along to talk to a coach. That way you can touch base with your events, kind of any camps that you might be going to, where you're at in the process. Some coaches will straight up ask you, like, what other schools have you applied to? Where are you looking at? So that way they kind of know where you stand as well as where they stand within the process. And again, important to reiterate your club coaches and make sure you thank them for your time. Some of you might be wondering, what if they don't answer? You can always leave them a voicemail. Some of them can't answer, depending on if you're a freshman, sophomore versus a junior, senior, and whether that's the D1, D2 level. So again, leave a message, name. I would suggest putting that grad class in there so they know who you are and if they can call you back, your club team, and then the reason you're calling. And again, if they don't call you back, you can always continue to keep calling. So, so far, that's kind of where things are at in terms of what we're looking to do for recruiting purposes. You guys, next steps should be to make sure that you narrow your list and be sending out those emails to those contacts, and then making sure that you CC your coaches. If you have any questions, specifically on the boys side, you can reach out to me, Jesse, or Joe. Wealth of knowledge, tons of connections, tight-knit community in terms of the coaching community. We've been through the process many times, so if you guys need anything, we are very much so here for you.
I'll add that what you can do like right now, if you have game film, you should start clipping some of it and trying to prepare for that. What am I going to email the 2 weeks before that President's Day tournament? Because it's going to come quick. And if you have a highlight, great, attach it. If you have a Casey, you put in there something like a 1-page, who you are, player resume, where have you played, did you play ODP, how did your high school team do? Put your little resume together and do that now, so you're not scrambling to do it 2 weeks before the event. We have some time to do it now. And start figuring out who you want to email. One bit of advice is, if it's your first time doing this, send it to your club coach first. I'm sure you can send it to even myself or Casey or Joe, and we'll let you know, like, hey, look, you're going to want to make this a little more personal, right? Because if it seems like a dear coach, watch me play, kind of, it isn't personal, they may not come out and watch, or may not feel like you have genuine interest. So I've reviewed those for my players all the time, and I'll give honest feedback just to help you put a really good one together for that first contact. Your first impression.
I want to echo that for sure, because all my players, I asked them to run it by me. I know I'm too proud. When I was a kid, I was way too proud to have anyone else look at it, but we are definitely here to help you with those, and we will tell you whether you should or shouldn't be saying that.
Yeah. And then Nate did chime in there with we should have streaming links for February. So when we get those, we'll provide them to you guys. That should help you maybe expand the pool of colleges that you're going to talk to or you're going to ask. And like I said earlier, nothing wrong with letting them know now to put it on their calendar, and then saying, I will get you the links, early February as soon as I get them. But it will be streamed. I am interested. I'll contact you first week of February to give you more. So it's good to start getting onto their calendars now.
For sure. And there's also other events that are going on. So it's important that you get on their calendar so that way they come to your event versus someone else's. Does anybody have any questions before we kind of wrap up and let you guys go? Questions, good time to ask could be now.
You can tap it in the chat too if you don't want to unmute your mic in front of everybody and talk.
No one. We will be out and about at the Dome, so feel free to grab us if you want to chat in person. Otherwise, our contact information is on the left here. Feel free to send email, text. Jesse and Joe are very good at getting back to people with text right away, same as myself. So feel free to reach out at any time.
In case you do want to email this to them that way, because I think the template email was pretty helpful for them to go back and, don't copy word for word, but I looked at it's broken apart. It's like a good introduction, a little bit about who you are, a little bit about why you're interested, and then all your contact info. And as long as you structure your emails that way, you're going to be golden. But this is it has a lot of information, so you might want to save this one to refer back to later.
Perfect. I will email that out right now to all your coaches, and if they don't get it to you, you can re-ask them. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, dude, your template emails, your presentation's boss. It's easy.
Oh, it's funny because in the past I used to do them for, like, I did one for Blackhawks as well. And I'm like, okay, I'll just swap some logos and here we go, and we'll run with it.
That's all I did. I just changed it to boys stuff and whatever else, and just made it happen.
Yeah, I saw that. Even the headshots on the flyer you changed. It's like, oh wow, you made those quick.
Well, I didn't want it to look like yours. Well, it does look like exactly like yours. I just changed the boys to the girls. That's all, and then added the export team snap thing.
And how are the on the boys side? Are they pretty good about reaching out to college coaches, and I don't know how busy, like when you go to an event or before you go to an event, you get a lot of stuff.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you put your name on the list, let's say it was going to like Disney, I'd get blown up. Like you
Really?
go on to President's Day, you just get blown up. It's cool. I love it. I mean, I love wading through that and like trying to, like you said, make what field and sort out where you're going, etc. But
I think you got the point across. The only thing I would reiterate, and they should really need to do the questionnaires, because it gets them into the database. Because if you are getting that many, like I remember when I was in McAllister, Greg and Mike would do this, and Mike would have so many to filter through. And even at the school, we had a kind of a rule where it's like, look, if they're not in the system, you can't be wasting your time recruiting someone who isn't even going to do a questionnaire, right? Because, like recruiting directors and admissions would want to know, or RAD, where are you spending your time? And they had to be in that system because all the notes were taken in there. And if you didn't fill one out, you can't take notes on them.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I felt like on the girl side, we didn't quite get as many. So it was easier to like manage the group. But if you're getting, 50 kids and you need to take notes on all of them after the event, they have to do their part, like do the questionnaire.
No, I mean, I don't know. I always go in with a different, like, I don't really care about the questionnaire because I'm going to do my own thing. But I still feel like when a kid populates a questionnaire through, I look through it every time.
Every single time.
You have to do your homework. Like, shit, some rando that, like, could be a stud, throw something in there. You never know. I mean, I had one that was an all-state kid with, like, a 50-yard throw-in just the other day, and I was like, sign you up. Like, you're an all-state kid who can run and play, you're in. But I had no idea who you were until this moment.
Right. Well, that's, yeah, I think it's important for them. I know for us, they have to fill them out. Otherwise, that I put them on a list. My AD wants to know who we're looking at. And it's like, well, they're not populating on your slate list. Like, well, that's because they haven't done a questionnaire. Right. I can enter them manually, but I don't like to do that.
I'll never do it. It's just dumb. I don't want to. Like, I have my own database at that point.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, anyways, good stuff. And what is this? Oh, your notes here. So yeah, I'll go now. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Good stuff, man.
Thanks, dude. You're there tonight, right?
Am I there tonight? What do we have tonight?
Monday. You're the late session night, aren't you?
No, not Monday. Hold on.
Oh, is it Wednesday that you're there?
I'm there Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah, not tonight.
I was gonna say, I saw you there one of my first nights, so it must be.
Yeah, you freaked me out. I'm like, Monday, I'm supposed to take my wife to dinner because we can finally go to a restaurant.
Already? Yeah, you enjoy that, sir.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go do that today. All right, cool. I will see you later in the week.
Sounds good. Thank you much for everything.
No worries. Bye.
Bye.